Okay, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. Don't want that.
Not live this one, but it is today at least. It is Tuesday. With that,
It
oh
is, yeah. We'll
gosh, well, with that, buddy,
be
I guess I should
consistent
probably
there.
should probably get to work here. Okay. Uh,
Take your time, man. I got plenty of time. I'm good.
no, this is good. I pushed the button. Who cares?
Okay, cool. Great.
This is good stuff.
Fantastic.
Keeps us
Yes,
honest here. And I got my mask for
it
later.
does. And we are honest. We are
And here we
honest
go. All
folk
right.
here.
Then I'm gonna push I'm gonna push this button now. Then.
Pushing the button.
It's the warm-up show. Oh, it's good stuff. Hello there, everybody at home. Welcome back. My name is Jay Ryan. This is the Late Night Playset. It's Tuesdays with Tory, and my buddy over here, all the way across this great land of ours, is Tory Alonzo, sitting over in Pittsburgh, or outside of Pittsburgh. What's up, brother?
Not much, man. What's going on with you?
Not a whole lot. As I mentioned, it's Tuesdays with Tory. We're going to be talking about cars. We're going to be talking about the Smoking Tire grand opening. We're going to be talking about what we've been watching lately. And I have a feeling that may have something to do with Cobra Kai, at least for a portion of it. Talk about what's been going on with the Malibu kitchen, cars and coffee, and, of course, in general, how you coping. All the usual stuff. We are not live with you this evening. We're going to talk about that and why that is, although I do believe this will make it up in time for 5 o'clock. Our buddy Tory, right over here, has got something else going on this evening, and he will not be available for our typical 5 o'clock taping because I believe you're going to be on another program. Is that correct?
I'm cheating on you tonight, Jay. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
I'll take it.
We are there's a podcast called Let's Talk Dubs that's really, really good. I just kind of discovered it recently. And he and I are around the same age. He's out of Las Vegas, and he's been interviewing all of these guys that are like Volkswagen people I looked up to as a kid. And so it's gonna be really cool to talk with this guy because he's talked with some real legends in the industry, and
What
I think
what did you say
he
the
wants.
name of the what did you say the name of the show was again?
It's called Let's Talk Dubs,
Love
like
it. And what's the
VW.
host's name?
Yeah. I believe it's Mike. And
Awesome.
yeah, it's going to be really cool. Like you can go to Let's Talk Dubs on Instagram. Like he's got social media and stuff, and I think it's on just the podcast app is where I found it on my iPhone or whatever. But it's really, really cool. He's got, if you're a Volkswagen guy, like some of the names he talks to are just legends of the industry. So I'm stoked to talk to this guy. We've kind of been playing tag back and forth, and it looks like it's going to actually happen later tonight. So we'll see how that goes.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
I'm
should be
looking
fun.
at it right now. I'm going to try and get it up here. Here we go.
That's him.
Beauty. Let's
Yeah,
talk
that'll be
dubs
cool.
on the air. He's
Yep.
got the old microphone that I put on Matt Farah's desk with a V dub front. I love it. Oh, this is
So
cool
cool.
stuff.
Yeah, really, really neat
I mean, I
stuff.
love
So
the
like
tone of
that.
it.
So that crazy Carmen Gia, if you go up, that it's called Rodbuster, that maroon one. That was a freaking amazing car back in the '80s. Like this guy built it to basically show on the International Show Car Association circuit, which is like typically hot rods and stuff. And this thing was just space age. I mean, he made the entire chassis out of billet back before there were really like CNC machines and stuff like that.
Oh, there's more. I
And
didn't realize.
and so
Wait,
the
these aren't the
guy
same
that
car.
no, no, no. Well, some of them are different iterations, but that's the guy that built it originally was Chris Addington, the old
Oh,
guy
no
that's
kidding.
standing next to him there. Yeah, that's him. And
So
so
this is
so
the guy
some,
you're going to talk to on the right. This is Mike, and the guy on the left is the guy who built the cars we just looked at.
yeah, that was Chris Addington, and that was the last episode that I listened to. And it's really cool because I've been going down the '80s custom VW, rabbit hole or whatever. And Chris Addington was like a staple of the '80s VW custom
Oh,
scene.
very cool. So you know this guy, of course.
I know of him. I've never met him before, but I mean, he was in all the magazines that I read as a kid, and the Rodbuster Carmen Gia was just like, I mean, that was like it set the bar for VW show cars. I don't think it's ever been surpassed, to be quite honest with you. I mean, that car was
Super
like the
cool.
ultimate. So yeah, so he's getting like a bunch of these old school guys like that. So really, really cool stuff, man. Really, really like what this guy's doing. So
Awesome.
yeah, looking
Well,
forward to
so that's
talking to
where
him
you're going
tonight.
to be at 5 o'clock tonight. Do you know
I,
when is yours isn't live, right? Is it going
No,
to be
it's not
pre-taped?
live. No, because I think what he does is he like inserts pictures and stuff after the fact in post. So there's
Sure.
like reference photos and stuff. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be live, but I'll let everyone know when it goes up. Should be fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Well, so
So
that's why we are doing the pre-tape this evening. But I'm excited for you, buddy, and I'm really happy for you to get some non-Jay Ryan experience because I've been having fun talking to other people lately, like doing the smoking tire one and wrench, and
totally.
then when we
Yeah.
did the cruise show, I guess again the smoking tire the other day, and
Yeah.
it's kind of fun to. I find that I learn something. I've learned like 10 things each time.
Yep. Yep. For sure. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to it too. It's going to be cool. And of course, like I loved Volkswagens my whole life, so it'll be kind of cool to talk to someone that's he's a few years older than me, but we grew up on the same Volkswagen magazines, and like I can already tell he's the type that could like name what magazine a certain car was in like I can because we
yes.
read these magazines,
It was in the
page to
August
page.
'93 issue of.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm like Rain Man when it comes to that, dude. Like these cars I've been finding, like I can tell you exactly which magazines they were in without even looking.
That's
I've
so cool.
read them so many times, I just know.
I
So
wonder if I would be that way with anything. Probably this stuff, obviously. Like anything David Letterman, obviously, but probably talk show stuff in general. Probably I could tell, like, oh, I
yep.
remember that cover from summer
Almost just like Back to
'93
the
when the
Future
Late Show
stuff.
was coming out, like Time Magazine and stuff like that. I remember some of that stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to think maybe before that when I was younger, maybe like horror movie stuff, like Fangoria Magazine. Do you remember that?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Of course I do.
So I was
Yep.
totally into that stuff. Freddy Krueger. Hello, yeah. Gee whiz. I mean, believe it or not, at one point in my life, I was into this stuff.
Wow. Wow.
So I remember those magazines from that age, that impressionable age.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Probably a little bit later than that, maybe some of the car stuff, but it always would have been the newer. It would have been like Road and Track when the 996 came out or something like that. It
Yeah.
wouldn't have
Yeah.
been the custom
Yeah.
stuff that you knew that people were building.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just that was my jam back then,
That's so
man. That's
cool.
like
But I think it's
I
really
look
neat
forward.
where you've been going with it lately and everything. All right, so
It's
wait.
been fun.
So let's try to do some sort of an
Wait,
official
yeah.
format
What
here.
day is it today, Jay? Let's start off with that.
You're so funny.
Because I don't know what day it is, honestly. Like they're all the same. This always happens with us.
Today is Tuesday, September 8th, 2020, but it is pre-taped, as I mentioned earlier. Tuesdays with Tory, here he is. All right, so to fill you in on what's been going on last time, or the last few weeks, actually, Tory's been looking for a new car project. New, maybe a Beetle, but he's been open to a couple different things. But on the Beetle hunt, he was looking at a 63 ragtop with a lady who wouldn't he would respond back immediately and then the lady would get back to him 2 weeks later, almost like like there was a schedule to it. And
Totally.
after the second or third one, he kind of got fed up. And then on the show last week, we did it on Thursday because of whatever scheduled stuff. It was just shy of the 2 weeks. And I was like, what happened to that lady? And he's like, nope, she ghosted me again. And I was like, wait, but isn't it time? Aren't you due a response any second now? Tori, what happened immediately after we finished the show last week?
Dude, literally, like you press the button to stop the show. I check my phone, and she's like, "Are you available tomorrow?" It's like you gotta be kidding me. And so, no, here's the best part. So I responded back. I said, "Well, I just figured you sold the car. I'm not interested anymore. You took too long to respond. Basically, I thought you had already sold the car. So no, I'm not interested in it anymore." And I checked again today, and she still hasn't even seen that message. So it would be another 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah,
So, like, even had I committed to go look at the car the very next day, she still hasn't seen the message, so it wouldn't have happened. So I made the right call. I
That's
just had to
a
let that one go.
riot. That's
crazy.
funny.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy stuff.
funny. That's a
Yeah.
good point you just made. Are you
Yeah, so I
available
gave up
tomorrow?
on
Yeah,
it.
so it's a scammer
Done.
more than anything else, right? It's not even a lady who's absentee.
I don't think she is a scammer. That's the weird thing about her. I think she's just not that motivated to sell the car in a hurry. It's weird. I don't understand because I mean I did give her my number at one point, so that's probably why she just hasn't even looked back at the messages because who knows?
Yeah, but she never gave you
I
hers
still have
to
never
call.
received a call. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
exactly. I
weird.
still haven't gotten a call, so it's weird. So I just dropped it. Nope, done with her.
All right,
have
so
no
then
patience for
after that, last week on the show, we got into another an area that you might be interested in, and can you tell us a little bit about that?
Like the other cars.
Yeah, you were getting more into the '80s show
Yeah,
car scene,
yes,
VW, versus the
definitely.
classic '63.
Yeah, yeah. So, I've had rag tops before, but like, I kind of did this whole like nostalgic thing where I found my old VW magazines. I'm looking back through them and I was like, geez, it'd be really cool to get one of those old customs, that was actually in a magazine that, I had as a kid or whatever. And so I started tracking these cars down. I think we talked about the yellow one on the last show,
We
that
did.
yellow
We showed lots of
Volkswagen.
photos
Yeah,
of it, and you told the whole story about it.
I
What
did. Yeah.
happened? The guy,
So
what you
he's
guys were in different places on the price, and you said you're never going to find a better buyer for this car, a bigger fish, I think you said, for this car
right.
than me.
Yeah, I was like, I'm the guy, man. Like I'm willing to pay more than probably anyone else just because I like the story behind the car and whatever else. And he's still trying to track the quote unquote owner down because there's a shop that's kind of the liaison between this car and the owner. But
Oh, it's not a guy playing hardball with you.
no, he's hard to get a hold of, and he has some sentimental
There's a
attachment to the
go-between.
car
I
apparently.
gotcha.
So yeah, so I've kind of like given up on that. Not really. I mean, he's still got my number. If he calls, whatever, I'll make it happen. But I'm putting my energy elsewhere.
All
And
right.
so within the
Now
last
we're
week,
now we're caught up to
we are
today.
caught up. Yeah, now we're caught up to today. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I might as well use the power of social media to my advantage. So I was like, I'm gonna put a wanted ad out, and I put it on this Facebook group that's like I think it's the Samba, but it's a Samba Facebook group. The Samba is
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like the central hub for all Volkswagen activity on the internet. But
Yeah.
they have their own Facebook page too, which is it kind of has a whole other following. So I was like, all right, I'll put it out there and see what the deal is. So I put up two pictures of a blue 80s custom Volkswagen that's like representative of what I'm after. So in the ad, I'm basically like, look, dated mods like one piece windows and louvers and all this crazy stuff. Totally cool with me, like a plus, appreciated if you have stuff like that. Okay.
Right. You're
So
not saying I want this car. You're saying anything like this.
anything like this, like this is kind of representative of what I'm looking for, essentially.
You
It's like
you sent me some pictures. Let me know when to put them up.
I did. So you can put up the picture of the ad first because it's like a Facebook ad or whatever. It's a wanted ad basically, and that shows like, yeah, that's it. This is an example of what I'm looking for. Outdated mods, a plus, and that's this
Wanted
car's
to
got
buy
all of them.
Project 80s Custom.
Yeah, because
Looking
like
for a
on
Survivor 80s Custom Bug Project. Post up what you've got available. This is an example of what I'm looking for. Outdated mods like one piece windows, louvers, or graphics, a plus. Meaning the things that would normally keep people away, you're saying, I'm fine. I'll
totally,
take it.
totally, yeah, because all this stuff is like, I mean, it's dated now. Like nobody wants that stuff for the most part. Like
Or at
there's
least it's off cycle right now.
Yes, yes. So like what they would do is they would get rid of the vent wings and the, door windows and then they would do this one piece glass conversion. Well, to most people that are restoring a Volkswagen, that's automatically a deal breaker because now they've got to go look for a set of doors that haven't been cut for that one
Right.
piece glass. So
Right. So they're
like
spending more money automatically.
yeah, so normally like they would pass on a car like this. So I was like, all right, let's shake the tree and see what falls out. Dude, not even 10 minutes later, I get a DM from a guy that I already know in Burbank. Okay,
Oh,
already
right
know this
here.
guy in Burbank. I've sold him Herbie
Right
stuff
up
in
the
the
street.
past. Exactly. Sold him Herbie stuff in the past. And he messages me and he's like, where'd you find those old pictures of my car? And I
What?
was like, oh, no way. I was like, did you build that car originally? He was like, no, I bought it on Craigslist like 5 years ago. I'm looking at the car right now. That
No
exact
kidding.
car from my wanted ad. I was like, you're kidding, dude. Like, no way. And he was like, hold on, I'll send you a picture. So the next picture I sent you, the blue car with an inch of dust on it, that's his shop
Boom.
in the valley.
So this is right around the corner from where I'm sitting
Yeah,
right now.
with that car, that exact car. I was like, what are the freaking odds? That's insane. So I don't
Wow.
like, we had a brief
Well, wait
conversation
a second.
about
Is
it.
it for sale?
That's what I was gonna tell you. We had kind of a brief conversation about it, and he kind of likes the car. I don't know if it's for sale per se.
Well,
He
it's
did
clearly not
say
being anything done with it, though. I mean, it's just
no.
sitting there on the shelf.
Yeah. He literally told me that like he has not touched the car in 5 years. Like he rolled it in there after he bought it off Craigslist, and that's
Look
where
at
it's
those
at.
weird louvers under the headlight. That is so wild.
That was all the rage back in the 80s, man. They would punch louvers in anything. I mean, the backs of the fenders, the fronts of the
I
back
see the
fenders,
fenders. Yeah.
everything, dude. All louvers. And like I love the centerline wheels. Like those are even like 80s tires. The Pirellis, Pirelli doesn't even make a 135/15 tire anymore. Like that thing is straight from the 80s, my friend. That is it. It's exactly what I'm looking for. So anyways,
Cintorado.
So
The
I told
Pirelli
him, I was like, look,
Cinturados.
yep. So I was like, look, if you end up wanting to sell the
Missing a couple
car,
lug nuts there.
you know where I'm at. Oh yeah, for sure. And the car runs, believe it or not. Like he drove it up there, onto that little rack.
A
So
while ago.
a while ago, yeah. So,
Looks like a lot of
anyways,
collecting's been done since that was driven on that rack.
oh yeah, that's like it's like Hoarder's VW edition
Oh
for
yeah, no
sure.
judgment on that. In fact, it's a
Yeah,
place I'd love to go hang out. I just mean like I
yeah.
feel like it may have been up there a while longer than it runs.
Yeah.
But I see your point though. It's sitting in California in a perfectly weather safe environment, so I'm sure it
Yeah,
probably
at least it's
does.
not outside. Yeah, I'm totally
Yeah.
cool with that. Whatever. So he knows I'm looking, maybe a deal is struck, maybe a deal is not struck. So car number two comes to me the next
Oh,
day. And this car is nice because it's 4 hours from me, but it's one of the most tacky Volkswagens I've ever seen in my life.
which
And
should I show the picture of the three
show the
shots or
one,
the individual?
the three shots.
All
These
right.
are the pictures I got from the seller. Okay. Dude,
Looks like Herbie taking a bow.
I know, dude. It has hydraulics.
You don't say.
Oh my god, like that is absolutely insane. And in
What do they
those
double the
wheels,
weight of the car, triple it by putting
I'm
hydraulics in it?
sure. I'm sure. So this car is in Oswego, New York, of all places.
Oh, no kidding. It's
Yes,
like my old stomping grounds.
it's
Not too
weird
far.
because so this lady contacted me after I replied to one of her ads, and she was like, "This is gonna sound super sketchy." She was like, "But it's my boyfriend's car. His health is failing. We've since moved to Pico Rivera, California, but the
Whoa.
car is still in Lake Oswego or Oswego, New York or whatever. And we got to get it out of there because his house has black mold and they're going to tear it down and we've got to sell the property." And I was like, oh my God. I mean, it was a lot going on with this story. So, she lost the title. I mean, there's a lot of red flags with this one. Okay. So I told her, I was like, well, look, I was like, here's what you need to do to get a lost title in New York State. And I sent her a link and I was like, get back to me whenever you have a title. So
Sure.
she has supposedly sent the neighbors a key to let me in if I want to go and see the car this week. It's 4 hours away. So it's going to come down to, am I really that bored to go drive 4 hours to see this thing? But, a pink bug with hydraulics. Hello, like kind of cool. And
Don't
if
you
you look,
kind of
it's got
also? I mean, what else are you doing? Like, why not? I mean, that sounds like a
exactly. I
day.
got
That
nothing
sounds
else
like
to
an
do.
awesome Randy Carlson type day.
Exactly. Yeah. And so like
Bug
it's
and
got
Box
some
on
really
Instagram. Shout out
cool.
to Randy Carlson Bug and Box on Instagram.
Yes. And so it's got some cool like 80s, 90s touches to it as well because like early 90s they started this thing. It was called the Hawaiian look, but like the white
Oh, I know what you're
window
talking about. I
rubber.
love that.
Yeah, the white window rubber, like that car still has it. They don't make that anymore, and it's actually in pretty good shape. So I did some detective work. I found one picture of the car at a car show, which is the next picture I sent you.
You ready for it?
And yeah, go for it. So this car was called the Puddle Jumper. That's what its show car name was. Okay,
Because it could
and
hop around.
well, no, if you look, they put this fake green grass down, and under the front tire,
Oh,
they put
geez.
a little pond. And so it was called
Oh,
the
that's
Puddle
a
Jumper.
riot. I didn't
So
notice.
it's up on the three-wheel motion with the hydraulics, and then that's what
So they travel with a whole little diorama setup, sort of like the Hollers in their time machine.
correct. Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's kind of pretty wild.
kind of cool, kind of cool. It's got some little weird custom touches, like the wheels on it. The guys in Hawaii are crazy about these wheels. They're called Convo VW wheels made by Centerline, and they're really rare. Like there's not many sets outside of Hawaii because for some
What
reason that's just the Hawaiian look. But
what's on
like,
it now is different than what used to be on it, right? It's not the
no,
same
no,
as
no, they're
in
the
these
same
pictures.
wheels. Yeah,
Oh,
the
they
car's
are. Oh, I
exactly the
see. Okay.
same. Yeah, if you look, they're kind of like these weird like splines in the
Oh,
back.
look at
See how
that.
those
They're
have like
really deep.
splines in them? In super
Yeah.
deep. Yeah, super deep wheels. So like those are really really popular in Hawaii. But
Wild.
like aesthetically, this car is terrible. Like
Eh.
that would not be my first choice. But it's kind of got a cool backstory, and the fact it's got hydraulics, like it's kind of cool. Not gonna lie. So I don't know. So it's gonna come
Also, I
down
would
to
love to see you in a pink car. Weren't you wearing a pink shirt in the Bug movie?
yeah. Well, and that picture of me with my first bug, like as a kid, I've got a
Oh,
pink
that's what it was.
Hobie
Yeah.
surf shirt on. Yeah,
That's what
I
it
still have
was.
the shirt. Yeah.
You still have it?
Um, Yeah, I still got it. Yeah, it
Oh,
was in
that's
the same
awesome.
box as that tacky airbrush shirt that I found the other day. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's amazing.
yeah,
I
I
love it.
literally have like a little tub of like VW shirts from when I was a
Now,
kid. So,
in this same picture here, there's a green one in front of it. Now,
hmm
that's not a cab, is it? It just happens to be like the similar shade of green because I don't see any white
correct.
on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and here's the funniest part of this VW show that car was at for that
Yeah.
picture is in Connecticut.
Come on.
Yeah. Matter
Where
of
is it?
fact, let me look.
I probably know what the show is.
Probably do. It was called like Bug. Let me see.
There
Let me
didn't
see if
used
I
to
can
be a
find it.
tremendous amount of car shows in Connecticut. There are a lot more now.
Right,
Caffeine and
right, right.
Carburetors being a great one.
Yeah, you know what? I'll have to look it up
Oh,
later.
it doesn't matter. No,
It's not
I
in
was
my
just curious.
history. I thought it would be, but yeah, but that was in Connecticut, and
It's so
I guess he used
funny.
to travel up and down the East Coast with that car. But so option number three, I still have not seen, but it sounds the most promising, and I'll get into that real quick. Like we don't have to concentrate on this, but
No,
I got
this is fascinating.
it is kind of it's been
And
a
one day
cool
you'll have
little
one of these, and this will be the
yes,
backstory. It's kind of neat.
yes, it's been a cool time waster for me. But so right after I got the email or the DM from the guy with the blue bug that I already knew, I got a DM from another guy who is in Northern California, and he was like, "I think I have exactly what you're after." He said the car's at my warehouse, and I'm gonna have to go get pictures for you. He said, but this car sounds like exactly what your ad is. He was like, there's a kind of sad backstory to it, but it's what saved the car basically. So apparently, this car was built in the mid '80s. It's a '68 Volkswagen Bug. With all the custom touches, like graphics, and
All
he
my
said it
signature
looks
touches.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's got, the MP8 spoke wheels like they all had, and they're color matched. And he said the graphics like wrap around through the door jambs to the inside of the car, and then they custom stitch the door
Holy
panels
shit.
to mimic the outside, like totally what they used to do.
But we
He
have no
got this
pictures
car
of this, right?
recently.
Nothing.
What's that?
But we have no picture of this, right? No,
No,
nothing.
not yet. No, no, no. I'm thinking today is the day. He was supposed to get pictures yesterday, but PG&E shut down power, I guess, for community like safety up there. He's in Northern California, and I guess they just do that. They just ever since the Paradise Fire, like if there's winds or whatever else, I guess they just shut it down.
It's
I
happening
didn't know
lately.
that.
Yeah, yeah, it's been happening
Okay,
lately.
so he was supposed to get pictures yesterday, but the warehouse there was no power in there, so like he couldn't do it. So he's there today supposedly. But anyways, so the story goes he got this car from the original builder's mom, and this guy passed away like unexpectedly. It sounds like, and this car was in her garage, and I think she just probably got sad and tired of looking at
Sure.
it because it reminded her of her son. So he bought it at this estate sale, and he hasn't done anything with it. It's just sitting in the corner of his warehouse. But he's like, dude, it's so 80s, and I sent him a picture of the yellow bug, and I was like, this is kind of like the car I'm after. This is what I want. And he was like, oh, if you like the yellow car, you will love this one. He was like, this one's like outshines it on every 80s front there is. So
But meanwhile, he
that's
knows the yellow car.
he didn't, but he remembered it from the
But the
magazine.
show, once you sent him the magazine photos, I got you. I
Correct.
got you.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He's
He
saying
was
if you
like, oh
like
yeah,
that, this is down the same road.
yes,
I got you.
exactly. So that's what I'm waiting on right now. So
Dude, that's exciting. That could be
yeah,
a
so we'll
thing.
see. Yeah, if PG&E would stop shutting down the freaking power, then I could get pictures of it. But we'll see what happens. But that's where I'm at. So
Wow. Well,
hopefully by
this
next
one
week
here
I'll
is
have
just super
something.
cool.
I love
I
that
kind of
car. I
wouldn't
really
mind if
do.
that one ended up with you, just for the story's sake of it. I love that.
I
I
do.
wouldn't
I
mind a car
really
like
do.
this and the guy with the car.
Well, you know what I would love to happen? I would love for me to get either that blue car, or if this car that I haven't seen pictures of is really, really cool, I'd love for me to get that. And then in about a month, the guy with the yellow car calls me and says, yep, I'll sell it. And I can get it back to the guy who originally built it because he
Whoa.
proposed to his wife in that car and they're still together. And she
And
actually
you're
posted on
Mr.
this.
Sentimental Beetle guy, so
I
you
was
could
like
totally put
the
that together.
Beetle matchmaker, dude. Like I'm trying to like reunite these cars with the people. So that's what I think should happen. So I don't know. We'll see.
That is absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
I
So
would
that's gonna be cool.
maybe you and perhaps keen viewers would notice that I've done a costume change during the middle of that story. I forgot. I was like, why am I so cold? Because the wind's blowing right on me. I forgot my
That's
Hunziker
awesome.
shirt here. So it's a wonderful opportunity, or excuse me, it's a wonderful time to say, as I put on my Hunziker mask, if you run into somebody who isn't wearing a mask and should be, because there's a lot of places where we're still supposed to be wearing masks, you could say, Hey, man, need a mask? ShopHunziker.com. That's what I did. Now, I have a question for you and other people. How's that? I have a question for the world. How
Let's hear
does
it.
someone who wears a mask and wears glasses prevent what's happening to me right now? Now, I don't know if you can see this.
You get contacts.
Is that the answer? You get contacts? Because this
That would
just
be my answer.
it just doesn't work. And at a car show and stuff or whatever, like you kind of trying to talk to people or whatever, and it sort of it takes you out of it a little bit. Like,
I imagine.
do you know what I mean? Like, because then you can't wear your glasses to keep the mask on, but then you can't see shit right. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
No, I do know because it does the same thing with sunglasses too. If you have sunglasses and you freaking got the mask on, it fogs them up. So you're like, what the hell? Yeah, it sucks. It's
I
terrible.
guess so, but then you're but it's not really a can't see issue, right? It's more of a, well, yeah, I guess so, because you're equal. It affects everything the same. You're probably right, yeah. And by the way, look at that. My mask is also happens to be a nice
Double as
little,
a glasses cleaner.
look at that. I just figured that
awesome.
out.
There you go. You just answered your own question, Jay.
That's so funny. Last week we talked very quickly at the end of the show about what I had learned about St. Clair Insurance and Haggerty and how they run things. And I just wanted to kind of reiterate that real quick and remind people that even if you already have Haggerty Insurance, there are still advantages to switching over to coverageforyourtoys.com and still keep your wonderful Haggerty Insurance, but then also get the personal relationship that you would have with a broker of being able to, God forbid something does happen, be able to call your guy
Totally.
that you know from Late Night Playset and be able to have things taken care of very easily by the same company and everything. I don't know. It really opened my eyes to how they do things. And like I said last week, it was sort of inverted from what I had thought it was or thought how it would work. So I just want to say again, remind everybody that I'm Jay Ryan saying all that separates men from boys is the coverage for their toys. St. Clair Insurance, coverage for your toys, coverageforyourtoys.com. Huge shout out to Jeff St. Clair. Such a good guy. I think that's all the business. I think I got that out of the way.
All good.
Can I
man.
ask you a couple more questions, though? Because I have most of my stuff has to do with what's going on with you.
Yeah.
Do you want to get into the segment that we like to call
What you watching?
What You Watching? Hey, buddy,
Yeah,
what you
let's
watching
do
this
it.
week?
Oh man, Cobra
You
Kai.
tipped us off
baby.
last week, but
Yeah. Cobra Kai. That's-
really? So you went deep on Cobra Kai.
I went all in, man. I went all in.
in.
I already finished it. I think it took me 2.5 days to finish everything. Yeah. Both
Well,
seasons.
I will say
But
this.
they're quick.
The episodes are shorter than I thought. It's only a half-hour show, which I did not realize. So that
Yes.
helped things quite a bit when Mrs. Ryan and I were putting it on the other day.
Yes.
Know this. I wanted to like this show very much. I am totally down with what it's doing. I just told you last week how much I love the original Karate Kid. We were putting even the credits on. She knew people. I knew people. Not just
Wow.
like recognition. I mean, like one of the writers of
Worked
like
with.
Hot Tub Time Machine, I think she knew.
Oh, wow.
And lots of names. Will Smith is a name on it.
I know. I saw that. I was like, wow. And I think probably one of his sons or something, maybe, because there's a Pinkett in there. I was like, oh, interesting. Or one
Well-
of Jada's relatives, maybe, or something. So
It didn't do it for me. It
you
didn't
didn't
do
like
it
it
for me.
It's
Didn't do it for
love
me.
or hate.
But I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I just don't think it's done very well. And everybody I've talked to, including, well, not you right now, but maybe I'm assuming you're going to say the same thing. Everyone says it gets better. We watched 3 episodes, the first 3 episodes in a row. So it's not
Okay.
like we broke it up. I mean, we literally watched them with the intention of going all the way through.
Okay.
And we were just like, after each one, we were like, oh, okay, well, it's a half hour. So that's like, that gives it promise, So maybe they can just. By the third one, we were like, they just keep doing the first episode over and over again. They're not doing anything. They're not getting anywhere. And for 80s nostalgia, I think it's much better done on the Goldbergs.
Maybe I've never seen the Goldbergs, so I
Oh,
can't
my
really
buddy,
say,
there's your rabbit hole. You're gonna get
I'm
lost in
sure.
the Goldbergs, especially if you're ready for the 80s nostalgia. That one is spectacular.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I'll probably still finish it because
You need to
I
give it
am
more. Well, I'll say this, and I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone because I know it's still kind of new to a lot of people. But
Sure.
like the last episode of the second season, I legit got goosebumps. because it was so good. Like, I mean,
I
by
believe
that
you,
time,
but that to
like
me
it.
is not worth watching 19 episodes to get to Goosebumps in the 20.
Well, no, I mean, I get that. I mean, you're not going to get goosebumps, but it does get way better. I mean, the
Okay.
show, there's a purpose to it that you'll find, and it's not the same
But
like
can't I
campy
tell what it is
music. And
already? Oh, they flipped. He's now kind of
of
like there
course,
is
I
no
mean,
good guy
it's
bad guy anymore. They're both kind of an amalgamation of good guy bad guy and like, oh, look, it's Back to the Future from Biff's perspective. It's like, oh, look what
it's
happens
totally
after the bully gets
predictable.
his ass kicked.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally predictable, but I don't know. I mean, you liked the Karate Kid when you were a kid, right?
Loved it as a kid, but
Yeah,
no, let me say that. Liked it as a kid
the first
a
one,
lot, but I love it
right?
as an adult. I straight up love it for everything the
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
stands for and what it says.
yeah, definitely. Well, so if you liked that, then there's a lot more Easter eggs that you haven't seen yet. I'll just
Okay.
say that. So like, stick with it, see what you think. I mean, it's
I
only
will,
30
but
minutes
for
at a
me, it's like
time,
a background show. Like, oh, Johnny's still
Yeah, that's
upset. I
fine.
get it. Like, I get it.
I
He
loved
doesn't
it.
have the
I
money
thought
for
it
the
was
electric.
good.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
Little kids getting
yeah,
beat up. I
yeah,
get it.
yeah,
Putting
yeah,
shit in the
yeah,
dumpster, just like Mr. Miyagi did. I get it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he's doing it.
Exactly.
What I
I
told
mean,
Nicole was he's doing it all for the wrong reasons.
mm-hmm.
And I'm sure we figured that out in time. And I'm assuming Daniel and Johnny eventually at some point have to team up because while we all want to see the All Valley State rematch between the two of them, I think I'd rather, as an adult, see them team up and make each other better.
Well,
So I
then you
guess I'll
might
have
want
to
to keep
watch and
watching.
see what happens.
I don't want to say anything because it's going to totally ruin like what the show is. But
Well,
I,
tell me what I'm going to like about it in the next 17 episodes that wasn't there in the three. Like, does it get smarter? Does the writing get better? Does the
I felt
acting
like it
get
did
better?
because
Does the
I felt
directing
like
get
it
better?
did. Yeah, I felt like it
It's
did
all feels
because
like kids did it. It feels like a bunch of kids from high school made a TV show and they did a damn good job, but they're not professionals.
right, right. It does get better. I feel like it gets less campy as it goes
Okay.
on. Like the first few episodes, like the music was super campy. It was like, okay, are we spoofing the 80s or are we
Right.
like having our own like show in current time? Because it seemed
100%
like,
nailing it.
yeah, that
No
and it gets,
identity.
yes, it gets less campy for sure. Like the
Okay.
music gets less cheesy. There's a lot better character development as things go on. Like it gets better. It gets better. It's
They're
not so
punching you in
black
the
and white.
face with everything 80s and 90s at first. You know, the Cobra
Yeah,
Kai even
yeah.
looks like the Baywatch logo. Like, there's all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it gets better. It gets better. You gotta. I mean, if it's a background show, it's a background show. Whatever, that's cool. But I mean, I got nothing but time, so there's no background show for me. Everything I just am
I
watching.
said that to Nicole. I go, Tory doesn't have other things going on right now, right? So
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
and
I
I'm
got
like,
nothing
I've
going on.
so been there where I'm like, I've watched some
Yeah,
shit series 2, 3
yeah,
seasons worth because like I'm on hiatus or whatever. I will
yes.
tell you this: I have personally shopped at LaRusso Audi, which is actually it was Key's Lexus back in the day.
No, it's actually in Atlanta. Believe it or not.
You're kidding?
No, the whole
The
thing's filming in.
LaRusso?
Yeah, the only thing that was filmed in the
No
valley
kidding.
was that scene I was telling you about, where I was like, "Oh, it's in your hood." It's off Burbank, and I don't remember the other side street, but you'll know
Well, the
it
opening
when you
shot when
see
he's
it.
driving around was definitely Burbank, and there was like
Yes,
Oswego. There was a few different little
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oswego's in New
There's
York.
like establishing shots, obviously, that are filmed there, but like most everything on the first, I think, two seasons is filmed in Atlanta or
Oh
around
wow,
Atlanta
okay,
because originally it was a YouTube Red show. Netflix bought it.
right.
So like, yeah, they were filming, I think, YouTube and all them, and Netflix still films a lot of stuff. I mean, everyone films stuff in Atlanta these days, it seems like. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know that
I
there are
went
any
back and looked
studios
at
there
the.
other than Tyler Perry's and Independence, but yeah, for sure. I didn't realize
Yeah,
that. That's so
Atlanta.
funny.
I
It
mean,
looks just like the Keys Lexus on Van Nuys, and I told
it
Nicole it
does.
was.
And I know the dealership that you're talking about, and they probably looked for a place that looked like that since they were shooting in Atlanta. You know what I mean?
I totally told her. I go, I bet they chose. And I said they put all the Audis in there because I bet they
Yeah.
chose the Lexus because it was LaRusso. Like it's even in the Lexus
Right.
font. It looks the
Right.
same. Wow,
Yeah.
that's really
And then
funny.
there's a bunch of Porsches inside, which is funny. So like you go inside
Totally.
this room, there's Porsches everywhere. So um and then obviously like they do well, I don't want to spoil anything, but like you'll
You
see
can
some
spoil
stuff.
some stuff if you want. It's
Well,
okay.
I mean, they go back to like Daniel's original apartment building, which is, I believe, in Reseda, right? Like with the palm
It's somewhere
trees.
in Van Nuys, I think. But yeah, it's over
Okay,
there.
yeah. So they do actually revisit that, and he has to say something like, "Well, there's one less palm tree, but I mean, so somewhere along the line, a palm tree burned down or got cut down or whatever else." But I mean, looks exactly the same. So they do go back to that, but
That'd be cool.
yeah,
I mean, I told you the dojo, the actual from the first movie
right.
and the third movie and anything with Cobra Kai in it, I guess. But whatever, the Cobra Kai dojo, the actual place
Hmm.
is right around the corner. I mean, like a couple. It's right down our street.
Wow, that's cool. That's really cool. I
Still
liked it,
there.
man. I really enjoyed it. Like I just I mean,
Uh,
is it kind of like sad that like Daniel LaRusso is a car dealer now and weird and
Kicking the
like yeah.
competition. He's kicking
Yeah,
the
I mean, it's
competition. Get it,
total
everybody.
cheeseball, yeah. I mean, it's a total
I like the
cheeseball.
moment. This was the most realistic part to me was the moment Daniel and Johnny are face to face in this show. The first time it actually happens, it's in that dealership, and they start talking. He's like, hey guys, this is Johnny from high school. You know, he was the biggest baddest guy in high school. Blah blah blah. And oh, this is a karate guy. He's like, that was an illegal kick, right? Like he's been waiting 34 years to be like, that was an illegal kick, right?
He's been holding all this time, carrying this around for this moment. It's so funny. Yeah.
I always
And I
thought
love
the
the fact
same
he
thing.
drives
The
a red
guy
Trans
says
Am,
nothing
and
in the face.
I
The
know,
guy
I
says it.
know.
The referee says it. I've always thought that too.
Yeah, that was
So
a great
funny.
line. Yeah.
If
No,
done
I
right, no Ken defense, right? No Ken
yes.
defense.
Yep.
The
But
crane.
so I've kind of like looked stuff up. Season three is already in the can and edited and everything.
Oh my
Um,
God! So there's more.
and there's more. Yeah.
So were the first two seasons done on YouTube Red, and now it's Netflix money, or
I
was it
think
one and then Netflix picked it up? And
I don't.
did the
I know
second
for
season look better?
it
Different?
gets
Look
better.
different.
Like I feel like and it may be the same people, and it may be may have been a thing of like budgetary constraints that they don't have with Netflix, but it seemed to get better. I know for sure season one was YouTube Red. Maybe part of season two was too. I don't know.
Sure.
But it gets better, and season three is already in the can supposedly. Right now they're saying a 2021 release date for season three, but I think it'll be sooner because it's been so popular. I mean, every time you log on Netflix, it'll tell you like what's number one right now in the U.S. And every time I've logged on in the last 3 or 4 days, it's been Cobra Kai.
Oh, it's
So I mean,
popular. Everybody's talking about it
yeah,
on like Facebook and stuff, like the
super
old people on
popular.
Facebook.
Yeah,
Everyone's talking about Cobra Kai. Somebody posted, a friend that I know and trust posted, Cobra Kai is awful, is an accurate statement. Cobra Kai is fucking awesome, excuse my language, is also an accurate statement. I was
it
like, oh,
is.
I
That's
see. Okay, it's one of those type of deals. Like it's
it.
terrible, but it's
That's
awesome.
it. That's exactly it. I mean, the nostalgia is fantastic. The writing gets better. The character development gets better.
What
The
were you nostalgic about in the first 3 episodes? Because I couldn't find it. They kept playing music, and they were I went down a rabbit hole, and I discovered Rat. They're awesome. Like, all right, I guess. But that was
yeah,
never my
that's
thing.
um the well, like the skeleton costume. Have you gotten to that yet?
Yeah,
Like
and that was great. And I
that was
called it, of course. I
badass.
go, watch it be a
Like
skeleton. And she was like, how did you know? I was like, because that's what it was in the first movie.
yeah, I mean just stuff like that. Like
And
I
the
just
Halloween
love.
dance. That was nice.
Yeah, I mean stuff like that, like little Easter eggs, I guess. I mean they're big Easter eggs, I guess you'd say. But I don't know, just stuff like that. The
Being
fact that
able to
they
go back to those places again is nice as an
it
adult in this
is.
crazy world.
Yeah. And I mean, you talk about toys, like we were talking about that Hot Wheels, service station thing that you had on the last episode. Dude, I
Dude.
had all the Karate Kid action figures. Like, you'd like, there was like a little button you'd press on Daniel and he'd like do a karate chop. I think they were made by Rimco. And so, of course, I go on eBay and there's some on there. Like, I remembered having all
Wasn't
those.
Kenner? In
Like,
my mind, it was Kenner. I remember those little figures too, but I might be thinking of it wrong.
I think it was Rimco, if I'm not mistaken. But
It's so
But yeah,
funny.
I had those, dude. Like Karate Kid was the shit back in the day. Like everybody loved Karate Kid. It was a big deal. But
So I love Karate Kid too. And then one thing I did notice was pretty early on, maybe I don't know if it was the first episode or not, but at one point we're kind of seeing like how bad it was for Johnny, and you see
mhm,
the after he loses the tournament, you see that cut scene.
mhm.
Now I remembered seeing that, and it also they were very young, so and the actor who's dead now is still in it, so like all that stuff. Was that actually in either the second or third movie, and I just kind of forgot about it?
It could
Because
have
the
been.
second movie, I think they go to Okinawa, right? And then he fights there.
I think so. Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
third one is the one where the crazy guy with the ponytail comes to town, and he's Kreese's old Vietnam buddy, and he's like, "No, you got to get this thing back in action, man. I'm going to help you, and like we're going to take down this Daniel and this little Mr. Miyagi guy," and it becomes like it becomes like Return of the Jedi or however that word. No, Empire
Yeah.
Strikes Back.
I haven't seen the third one probably since the first time I saw it as a kid, so I couldn't even tell you about the third one. I remember the second one because of the Peter Cetera song, the
Oh, I don't. What
the
is it?
Glory of Love. That was like the big song from that year, and it was on the soundtrack by Peter
No, but I
Cetera.
remember him singing all the Disney stuff too.
Oh, okay,
Weird.
yeah, crazy stuff. But
Well, but so do you? So where did that scene come from then? You don't remember either?
I don't remember
Do you know
either.
what I
But it
mean?
had
When
to.
John Kreese, when the sensei, the Cobra Kai sensei is like beating Johnny up after the fight and everything, like you lost,
Yeah,
you're a
yeah.
loser, you're a piece of shit, like all that stuff.
Yeah. I'm sure that came from probably the second one. It had to have been a flashback in one of the sequels that they had made. I mean, maybe it was even deleted scene from the first one that just ended up on the cutting room floor, and they're like,
I
"Oh,
thought
we
that
can do a
maybe too,
flashback
but I
here."
remember seeing it. Like I really
Okay.
remember seeing it. So maybe I'm thinking maybe the third movie.
Yeah, it was probably
Because
in
that
one
would
of the
explain.
sequels.
Yeah, that would explain maybe what happened to Mister whatever his name was.
Well,
Sensei.
if you stick with it too, like you get backstory on a lot of stuff. Like they start filling in a lot of blanks too.
Nice. Like
But
I
it
haven't
doesn't come
seen
until later.
Kreese hasn't come back yet. Like I haven't seen him yet.
It's
But he's in the poster, so I know he's on the
Yeah,
fucking
you
show.
already know. There's no spoiler there. Like he's in the trailer too, so like that's not
Yeah,
spoiling
yeah,
anything.
but I haven't seen
it's
him
good.
yet.
Yeah, it's good.
What was I going to ask you? Did you ever see? So that's the first three Daniel LaRusso Karate Kids, right? The Valley, then Okinawa, then back to the Valley. Now the fourth one was no Daniel LaRusso, and it was Hilary Swank as the new Karate Kid, still Mr. Miyagi. Did you ever see
Right.
that one?
No, I didn't see that one, and I didn't see the one with Will Smith's son either, because Will Smith's
I
son
didn't see
did
that one either,
too,
but that's a
right?
different universe, so I don't count it. It's like the
Yeah,
Girls
it's like different
Ghostbusters. It's a fine
canon or
movie, but it's
whatever.
not part of
Yeah.
the same story.
No, I never saw the Hillary Swank one. No,
I
didn't
really
see that
enjoyed
one.
it at the time, but maybe it's because I was a teenager. Come to think of it, like I was probably
Could be.
13 or so.
Or because I had Hillary Swank in it. I don't know.
That's
Who knows?
kind of what I'm saying.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious how that one would be because I remembered that one being pretty good.
I may have to revisit. Well, here's what sucks. So, of course, I finished Cobra Kai, and I was like, shit, I really need to watch the first movies again. And I
First
remembered
movie
that
is a
they were
work
on
of art.
Netflix. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The first one was awesome. So I was like, I'll just go back on Netflix because the last time I checked Netflix, they were there. They left August 31st. Now they're only on Showtime. I'm like, come
Boom.
on.
Yeah, you got to pay for it.
So,
Yeah, they do. This is the new strategy of the
Yeah.
future.
bastards. So I'll probably just buy it on Blu-ray because the first movie's awesome. I remember I have such fond memories of the first movie. That was definitely the best.
If you haven't
that's
seen it in
usually
a
how it
while,
goes.
the first movie in 1080p or 4K or whatever they're selling it in these days is just spectacular. It really
Yeah.
is. Like the garden is awesome. The cars that he's washing are awesome. The golf and
yeah.
stuff is awesome. You can see all the light bulbs, you know.
Dude, just stick
the
with it.
pasta
I'm
sauce
just
all
saying.
over him at the country club. Like, oh, it looks so great in HD.
Just
Because
do
when we
yourself
were
a
kids, we watched it
favor.
on a 19 or 25-inch
Oh, yeah,
television.
of
You know what I
course.
mean? We
Crappy.
cropped.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do yourself a favor and finish it, even if it's just on in the
that's
background. Stick
I
with
mean,
it.
I'm not saying no, but it's the first three were not good in my opinion, and it's not because I didn't want them to be good.
Right.
I thought they just genuinely weren't good, and I was like, this could be so good. This is a great idea. Why aren't they doing it well?
It gets better.
I believe
with it.
Goldberg's is still on Netflix. I would highly recommend just
Is
watch
it?
an
Okay.
episode of it because I think you'll love it. It's hysterical. I didn't want to get into that one either, and I only caught it once it hit syndication. Definitely, maybe Netflix.
Well, the mom is the lady from Reno 911, right?
Yeah, she is actually the blonde girl. Yes,
And I saw
absolutely.
that's coming back now on Quibi. Like they're doing little mini episodes on Quibi of Reno 911, which is
Thought
funny
Quibi
because I was
was
a
done.
huge Reno 911 fan. I loved all those guys, Thomas Lennon and Robert
Oh
Ben
yeah,
Durant.
we used to. She really, but we used to see him all the time.
Yeah, I met him at the Herbie premiere because he wrote Herbie Fully Loaded.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he was the
She told me that,
screenwriter
too.
there.
That movie, Reno 911 Miami, is one of the funniest
Oh god,
80 minutes you can possibly spend.
I'm here for the gangbang.
Oh God,
I
there's
used to
just
say
so
that
many
all the
funny
time.
parts.
Freaking hilarious.
All right, Cobra Kai. All right, we finished Ozark, so we're caught up with Ozark. Finished
Nice.
as in we're current. I think there's another
Cool.
season or two coming. And lately, Smoking Tire podcast has had my attention, and not because I've been on it. I
It's
mean,
that
like the other
kick-ass new
episodes.
studio. It is the kick-ass new studio, my friend. That's what it is. Are you
There's a
going
problem
back?
with watching shows in the new studio when you're not running the new studio. Like I put on the Rob Ferretti episode this morning, and I was like,
Right?
"Why are the fluorescent lights still on?" I was like
Oh,
halfway
that's
through it, Zach
funny.
goes over and clicks them off,
Uh-huh.
and just every other technical thing, you know.
Yeah.
But I've been really enjoying. I mean, I didn't used to watch the old one, and I didn't used to
Hmm.
listen. I don't listen to any podcasts, so I don't know. I just was never into it, and then he and I sort of became friends before we became, admirers of each other's work.
Yeah,
For sure.
definitely. Yeah. Dude, I'd
So
love to hear
anyway, yeah.
about
So I
the
guess I've just been enjoying the banter. Like he and Zach are really good together, and then having the buddies come in, and be in the new space, and like the
Mhm.
energy's different. The energy is
Yeah,
definitely different, and
I bet.
I'm enjoying watching that. Maybe that's what it is.
That's
Maybe in a
probably
weird
what it
way, I'm
is.
getting a little bit of a like a dopamine. I'm getting like a picture like whatever that
Yeah.
feeling is from Instagram when I am watching. Maybe I wonder if that's it. When I'm just
I
really
would
selfish.
imagine
It
that's
makes me
probably
feel
what it
good.
is. Yeah, the fact that like everyone is like responding to your hard work.
Could
That's
be,
what
but
it would
that's the
be for
wrong reason
me.
to do it. I thought I was really
Well,
enjoying the content.
no, I don't think so. I think you can do it for I think that's a right reason to do it. It's like, it's like this self-affirmation of all your hard work. Nothing wrong with that. I don't think that's self-serving in any way. I think that's a cool thing.
It is kind of fresh in my mind, and we should talk about that next. Actually, maybe the Smoking Tire open house this
How'd
weekend.
that go? Oh
It
man, I
went
saw
it
pics. It
went
looked
great.
awesome.
I was only there on Sunday. It was my birthday. He was like, "Which
Hmm.
day are you coming?" And I was like, "Fourth, fifth, sixth." I was like, "Maybe I'll come on the sixth. It's my birthday anyway. May as well go to where there's a celebration."
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. Thursday was oh gosh, can I tell you what happened? The coolest thing. I don't have the video. I hope they play it on the show because the special. Maybe it's too personal. I don't know. But on Thursday night, they were getting stuff ready, like Hannah and the staff. Matt's wife.
Matt's wife.
Was it Jack's wife? Who's Jack? Don't tell Matt about Jack.
Yeah. Way to spill the beans, man. The affair is out now.
What
Jack's
am
gonna
I
be so
doing?
pissed at you.
So funny. Anyway, they were all getting stuff ready, and this is like crunch time. I mean, Matt has been
Down to the wire. Yeah.
on a 5 or 6 year project, like, and it's really here. And I told you last week how stressful it had been, and all of the things and reasons why, etc. So it was like almost over, right? They're getting ready to
Hmm.
leave on Thursday night. So they bring him downstairs, and Hannah's filming him.
Hmm.
And he goes, whatever. He's bringing somebody through, like he was doing a tour or something. He had no idea what he was about to see, and he
Hmm.
goes, opens up the garage door out into the cathedral room, where you all know where all the stacks are,
Hmm.
and his dad was there.
No, are you kidding me?
His
Did
dad
Hannah
flew out
fly
and
in? Like,
surprised him from the East Coast. He hasn't seen him
aw,
since December. I'm tearing up right now. I teared up when Hannah
aw.
showed me the video because my
Well, yeah,
dad's
your
not
dad.
here anymore.
Yeah,
So like any father son
totally.
moment gets me going from a movie or whatever. And then I'm
Of
watching
course.
this, and I know this guy, and I know how stressed and how much he's been wearing, lately,
Yeah.
anxiety of getting all of this stuff done. And his dad flew out and surprised him, and he just literally, like, no words, he literally goes over, hugs him, and like puts his head on his shoulder like a papa bear, and
Yeah.
it just absolutely totally
Oh,
crushed me and shattered me with the most happy, like, warm
oh, that's sweet.
sentiments and
That's
emotion.
probably the first time the guy's exhaled since he started this project, too. You know?
And who better to have the seal approval than the dad, the business guy, like the
Yeah.
Papa
Yeah.
Smoking Tire, you
Yeah.
know? Just a super, super cool thing for Matt. So
That's
a
awesome.
huge
Good for Matt.
congratulations to Matt on that. So that was Thursday. And then Friday is when everything started. They had
Wow.
people there all day, and they recorded the Rob Ferretti podcast.
Hmm.
Well, we were down at Breakfast Club. And then it was just a party from there on out.
Wow.
Saturday and Sunday, it was kind of you couldn't have too many people in the place at any given time,
Right.
so
They had to
it
limit
was
so
all
many.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was all kind of scheduled out. So it was more like a real estate showing than like
Hmm.
a party, but
Yeah.
it was great to see the 25 people probably on the property at any given time. So Marco
Man,
from
that's cool.
TLG, and all of our regular people, obviously
All
Sean
the usual
Lindauer and
suspects
Chris
were there.
Gabriel.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
anybody who has anything to do with knowing Matt or Smoking Tire, they were there. It was a
That's
lot
cool,
of fun.
Man.
Just a lot of
That's
fun.
really neat. That's
And got
cool.
to meet
Yeah,
a
I wish
lot
I
of cool
could have.
people, like a lot of other YouTubers and, content creators, stuff like that. It was cool. And just
That's neat.
that place, remember we said like, oh, I guess it's a garage, but then once the candy's in, it'll like turn to magic. It turns
It's
to
magic.
magic. It somehow he's right. It's like there's stained glass in there
Hmm.
because somehow the light gleams in through the windows and then it just kind of hits all those cars and colors and it makes this crazy spectrum in this crazy room of light.
Wow.
It's a hard thing to describe. It's a thing that doesn't sound like it's going to be as cool as it is until you walk in the room and then it's just like, what on earth?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's got to
So
take the wind out of you
huge.
the first time you walk in there and see all that, I imagine.
Yeah, it is. It does a little bit in all the ways too, because like in some ways it's not as big as you think it's going to be, and then in some ways it's like it's twice as tall as I thought it would be. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Kind of like
It's
that
have you
scene
ever
in
been
Gone
in
in
like a
60
St. Patrick's
Seconds.
Cathedral or one of those
Oh,
some
yeah,
big
totally.
space where
Yeah. Or like
you
that.
know what it's going to be, but when you get in there, it's different for some reason.
Yeah, it's just like, whoa, this is
It's
like
that.
times 100. Yeah, didn't
Yeah.
expect this. Yeah.
And the
Yep.
fact that it'll always be changing to me is kind of wild. It's
That is
not
neat.
like,
It's
oh, it's a
always,
work of art that stays that way. No, it's
no, it's
constantly
going to
evolving.
evolve always. Yes. Yeah. The car's going to go and new one's going to come back in. And yeah, that's really, really cool. It was neat to see Spike's police bug get all the, props online. I saw a lot of people that were like, oh, such a cool bug.
It
Like,
was awesome. Spike's police bug was there, and Bruce Myers' 5.0 Mustang Highway Patrol cop car was there, which
love
is
that
so
car.
super
That's cool.
cool.
That's neat.
And he had a new Taycan, sort of like the Taycan Turbo, sort of as a demo, so you could see like these ramps he had to have built. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
You needed a
cool.
super low car to kind of
Mm-hmm.
show. So that was sort of on display, and just the stuff that was in the stacks was really cool. I'm sure you saw the
That's
pictures
neat.
online. There's no
I
shortage of
did. Yeah, they
photos
were cool.
online.
Yeah, Zuckerman's Audi was there too, right? The Audi, the Quattro Sport.
Yes,
Did you get to
yes,
see that
and
car in person?
yes, but I knew that car when it used to be Tim Pappas's
Oh, yeah, that's right. You've probably seen it 100 times at Malibu then.
in Malibu. Yeah, but I didn't know. In fact, I've taken pictures of it. I'm looking at my Instagram right now. See
It's
when and
so
where,
like
but
the wheelbase is so tiny on that car. It's so funny. Almost looks like something that like someone like shrunk or like shortened. Like
well,
it's
but
so cool.
that's exactly what it is. I mean, they literally took I don't know how much, but a lot out of the
A
chassis.
lot.
And what's
Yeah.
interesting to me about that car and why I like it so much, that is part of it for sure. And the windows are different because of it, but it's the windshield.
Yeah.
You would think, oh, for a race car, they'll probably rake it back, like a speedster, like, oh,
Right.
they rake it back. They brought it upright.
It's
If you
amazing.
look at that car, if you look at a regular Audi Quattro from that age, it's like this. It's really, really slanted. And if you look at the Zuckerman car, it's like this. They brought it like almost
Wow.
like a 911. And apparently it was
Wow.
because of drivers complaining about glare, etc.
That makes sense.
Supposedly. But but that's not a simple change. You have to change the frame on the door, the glass in the frame on
Everything.
the door. Like everything
A-pillars,
is different. The roof is now
everything.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a small change.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, the glass in the windshield is different. Maybe you could use it from another
Yeah,
car,
it's
maybe
crazy.
not. I don't know.
Wow. It's cool. It's a neat car for sure and rare.
I'm definitely learning a lot about cars being over there because it's just
I bet.
constantly being talked about.
Yeah. That's neat. It's cool.
Back to what you're watching. I've been watching a lot of history stuff lately.
Have you?
Just with everything that's going on in the world, like for some reason my intuition, whatever, is kind of drawn towards. I don't want to get into like ancient aliens and stuff like that on the History Channel. You know those ones?
Yeah, of course.
It's entertainment, but also it does put you in the mind of what if.
What if that's
There's a lot of
true? I
that
know.
stuff that if you do the zoom out and you're like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of truth in a lot of that stuff. And then there's a lot of
Yeah.
things I know to be true from my own life experiences that other people don't talk about that are just covered openly in this show. So it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah,
I've been watching
definitely.
some of those lately. They're like on Amazon and stuff.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
If you want to go down crazy rabbit holes like that, Amazon Prime is the place to go. If you just type in anything alien or
I know it.
conspiracy or Egypt or like any
Their documentaries are amazing, and a lot of them are don't really get a lot of recognition or advertisement or
I
what.
don't
Like
think
they
they're
don't really
supposed to,
promote
buddy.
them.
I don't think they're
Yeah,
supposed to.
yeah.
I don't think this is information for the masses.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've done a lot of that.
They all
I
seem
like
to be bought by Gravitas, or produced by
Yes.
Gravitas, and that means to me that, oh, these are all out there, and there is some company, organization with an agenda saying blah, 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 and they're buying them all up and
Let's
saying,
put them
here
all
you
in
go,
one place.
watch them.
Yeah.
Watch them as much as you want. Here you go. I paid for it, so you can watch it.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, those are great. Those are
But
really
meanwhile,
great.
Gravitas does like awesome comedy shows too. So I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's all good. I started a new one on Netflix last night called High Score. It's like about like 80s and 90s video
The
games.
video games.
Yeah, pretty cool so far. I'm only on like the second episode, I think. But they talk to these kids that did these Nintendo competitions, when
Do
they
you
were
remember
like 10
Video
years
Game
old.
Armageddon, The Wizard with Fred Savage and stuff?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I remember all that stuff.
Welcome to Video Game Armageddon. From the trailer. I never saw the movie.
I used to get like Nintendo Power and like
Yep. The magazine, right?
Yeah, I used to be into that whole scene. I was usually like 6 months behind the curve because we didn't have a lot of money when I was growing up. But
Same
usually,
here.
Stuff got cheaper within like 6 months or whatever. But
I don't think I got the Nintendo the Christmas everybody got the Nintendo. I think I got it the next year, and it was available, and it was cheaper,
Yeah.
and I was thrilled to have it. But
Yeah.
I'm sure I was playing my friends for a year before.
Yeah. Oh, I did the same thing, and then still nobody would want to come over to mine. Like, finally, I've got the NES. Like, hey,
Yeah,
you
you're
guys
all
wanna play
excited. And they're
Duck
like,
Hunt?
we played that last year.
Dude, like we beat that.
You have any
months
new
ago.
games?
No. Yeah. No. Try back in a year. I'll have Super Mario 3.
Yeah, seriously.
But
See you at summer camp.
It's cool. Yeah, more nostalgia, I guess. But yeah, that show's kind of cool. I'm watching.
Did we talk about? And I don't think we did. And I really want to talk about this quickly, if that's all right.
Yeah, I got
Traction
time.
Park. No, Class Action Park.
No, but Matt Farah had a whole have you talked to Matt about this place?
No, but maybe I haven't told you. I used to go to this thing every year.
Dude.
Every summer we would go with my youth group. So I have all
Next
these
time-
stories I've always told Nicole. And then we watched the movie the other day, and she goes, "I thought you were joking. I thought you were embellishing. I thought you were a kid who had these stories that you built them up in your mind." I'm like, no, this place was nuts.
Dude,
Action
you need
Park.
to talk to Matt. Talk to Matt. The next time you see Matt, ask him about that because he used to go too when he was a kid, I guess. And he had a podcast one time that was supposed to be like about cars, and they ended up talking about this freaking theme park or the amusement park the entire time. Oh yeah, he knows all about it
You know
too.
what? Then the next time, that's what I'll bring up next time. I'm
gotta
doing
do it.
I might do a show with them tomorrow. I'll bring it up. Next
Oh,
time.
dude, do it. Do
Because
it.
if you see the movie, by the way, or if you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend it.
Is that the one with Johnny Knoxville?
No.
Okay,
No, they
Johnny
just.
Knoxville
I mean,
was doing
yes,
one too.
yes, that's what it was based on. But they just came out with the documentary that's been in the works for like 10 years.
Oh, okay.
It
Okay,
finally
cool.
came out, and it's
Okay, cool.
I think on Netflix.
Okay,
or
cool.
Amazon,
Yeah, I'll
whatever.
check
It's
that out.
available for
No,
free
I know.
someplace.
I know all about that just from Matt Farah talking about it on the one podcast the one time.
Holy crap. This has all of my memories encapsulated into video and pictures and people
I can't
talking
wait.
about it. And it was really neat for me to go back to those places that aren't in existence anymore. You can go to that
Right.
place, but it doesn't look like that anymore.
Of course.
To see my memories like in video, in color, and moving pictures. And then there's so many. I mean, we went every summer. Like we might be in a picture or two. You never know. There's so many. Dude, the stories. I highly recommend it. That would be my
watch
highly
it.
recommend to you. I think
I
it's
will
called Class
definitely
Action
watch
Park.
it. Yeah. Okay, I'll watch it before next week for sure.
Dude, it's crazy pants. And it's got good people on it too. Like Chris Gethard is one of the interviewees because he used to go when he was a kid, and some other
cool.
comedy people I can't remember.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll for sure check that out. But I remember Matt talking about that during a podcast one time, and I was just like, "What?" Like I've never heard of
Of course
this
he
place.
went because he was just as close as we were. Yeah.
Yep.
We used
Yeah,
to
you
go with
gotta
our
talk to him
youth
about
group
that.
every year, like the church youth group,
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because when I saw that, I saw like a
Not
preview
safe.
for it or something. No. Well, I saw.
And
a
you're
preview
on your
for it.
own. Like once you got there, you're on your own. You're on one side of the highway. You're on the other side of the highway. You're at the top of the mountain. You're at the bottom.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, I knew exactly what it was when I watched the trailer for that documentary, simply because Matt Farah had talked about it on one of his podcasts. I remember that. So,
Unbelievable. Oh, I can't wait to talk about it with him.
oh, you guys will have a good talk with that. That's funny. Yet
you want to talk
another
about
thing you guys have in common. That's funny.
I know, right? It's so funny. Do you want to talk about Malibu Kitchen real quick before we go? It seems like everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, what happened this past time? I Spike's last show was about like cars, COVID, and cops. I think I haven't listened to that episode yet, but I guess like it's happening, right? What I predicted would happen 3-4 weeks ago is happening. They're trying to shut it down, basically.
Yeah, but it's not how we thought it would. It's happening
So
in
what are they
weird ways.
doing?
I recommend watching the Smoking Tire Cruise show that we did last week.
Okay.
That we talked about it a little bit, and it's really more Matt talking about his beef and the whole bit, and I'm just kind of pepper. Um, Apparently, Spike did a whole episode on it, which I haven't listened to again because there's no video.
Yeah, that's the one I was just talking about. Yeah,
But
exactly.
other people are talking about the Spike show, of course, and then it's all over social media. So Matt is
Oh,
talking about it. Spikes are talking about it. I would recommend going to either Matt's or Spike's show if you want to know what's happened in the past couple weeks leading up to this. There
okay.
have definitely been attempts from multiple fronts to shut the cars and coffee at Malibu Kitchen, Malibu Mart, whatever, down. But I don't know how successful any of them are. The first one was very, very weird. There was somebody else involved named Fireball Tim, which I have no beef with. I used to know him in the movie car days, although that's probably not true. I really knew Charger Steve better. Did you know Charger Steve when you were in the movie car stuff?
No, I've never
He's a
heard of
guy
either
out
of
here
these
now.
guys.
I
Is he
know,
like a
everybody's got
video
a name.
Bob kind of guy, or
Maybe
like?
that's where everybody's getting these weird names from. But no. Charger Steve was a nice
Okay,
guy. I have no issues with any of these people. But that was when I met Fireball Tim, and that was dude, those were the DeLorean days. Were 15 years ago, 14 years ago,
what
something
was
like
he?
that.
Was it a Back to the Future guy or like a
Just a car
Trans Am
guy.
guy?
Just a car
Just
guy. But
oh,
whenever
okay.
somebody was hot, they would go latch on to whoever was hot. So when we
Oh,
were hot
okay,
with the Back to the
gotcha.
Future, it was like
I'm gonna be friends with these guys. Okay, gotcha.
yeah. I mean, I'm not even saying that, but you something
Kind of.
something along those lines. So anyway,
I
this
know the
week
type.
I went and I went alone because of the weather in Los Angeles. It's been unbelievable. It was 123 on the way home this day that I'm talking
I've
about.
been seeing all the posts with like people's thermometer on their dash. I'm like, no thanks, I'm good.
You saw how many VWs there were on the side of the road when I was driving home.
Oh,
I
dude,
kept doing stories of them.
and I guarantee you, every one of those was vapor locked, man. Like I know that. Like after a certain point, and like you guys don't have ethanol free out there, game
No.
over. Like
Yeah.
Volkswagens don't do well with ethanol gas in high temperatures. They just
And
don't.
and going up the hill under load like that, going
Oh,
over the 405.
I wouldn't even try. I wouldn't even
Yeah.
try.
You can't downshift enough. There is
No,
no. You could do it in
no.
first gear. It's not enough. Yeah.
Yeah, burn your engine up.
So anyway, so we went. I went in the morning, and there were the same thing as previous week. There were signs and ropes set up between the parking lot where you would drive between Bill's parking lot and the parking lot next door.
Okay.
And now they had people manning them at all the. I tried to go through. I wasn't even staying for a car show. I just wanted to get my breakfast and go because I was headed to the Smoking Tire.
Right.
Whatever the fuck. It was closed off from everywhere. From like a full assault of nobody can get into this parking lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
How does that
and
work for Bill? He has a
his
business.
parking
He's
lot's
still
not
open.
his parking lot's fine. He's okay,
Oh,
but
okay.
everybody
Gotcha.
else in the other, so you couldn't park anywhere else. But at
Gotcha.
8:30 they dropped the ropes, I guess, and then it was a free for all after, and then I saw it fill up as I was filling up my breakfast. Now I heard that they came through and swept afterwards, but I didn't see that. So I don't know what's going on over there, but there are definitely attempts to shut down the car show, same as Trancas, and
Of
it
course.
seems to be coming from the parking lot on the other side,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's probably then coming from their businesses. I would guess. I
Yeah.
understand, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's been very very weird, and it's been hard to get in, and it's hard. It's just been labored. Everything about it is labored. We used to go there because it was easy. Nothing
Now it's
about
the
it is easy
process.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And it's great if you want to see cars, and that's awesome. But like, it's not a breakfast spot anymore, and then that
Ugh.
hurts Bill because
Yeah, that sucks for
it used
him.
to be a place where people would buy a cup of coffee and lounge while they had their breakfast or their
Of
lunch or
course.
their croissant or their whatever the heck. Spend some money in there while you're
Yeah. Yeah.
hanging
That's
out
the.
on the property.
Wow. Well,
Nowadays,
we
it's
knew this
kind of
was going to
just
happen.
you know how it is. There's a lot of entitlement that comes with money, that comes with cars, and this is not an across the board thing. It's just it does invite a different element too, where well, fuck you, I'll go wherever I want. Like I
Well, I can tell
guess
you this, even in the airline industry, man, like we have certain airports, we have curfews, and it's all socioeconomic related. Orange County, there's only certain hours that we can land. I've literally had to divert to different airports because it was past our curfew. They
Because
have
you
a
wouldn't land in
curfew
time.
in Orange County. Yeah, because the
Is
rich
that a
folks
noise
don't.
abatement thing for
Yeah, the
the
rich
zoning of
folks.
the
Oh, that's the
homes?
other thing. Yeah, that's the other thing. But like, so there's a curfew. So like, if you get delayed after a certain point, you can't. You're not allowed to land in Orange County because the rich folks around there don't want to have to hear airplanes, God forbid, at
Sure.
9:30 at night, which is
Right.
totally understandable. But like, that kind of shows the hypocrisy of like those that have money get what they want. Because I mean, dude, you can land at freaking 4 in the morning if you're coming in over Inglewood into freaking LAX, which is kind of shitty, I think. I mean, like, just because those people don't have money, like they should have to listen to airplanes all day. That's not right.
Uh,
But yeah,
listen,
and then the noise abatement thing is a whole other deal. Like that's all day, every day, anytime
right.
you take off. And I love watching people that have never flown out of Orange County before because like, we're facing backwards because we're in the jump seat up top, and they literally they stand on the brakes at the start of the runway. They floor it
Yeah.
basically. They take off as soon as they can. They pull as steep as they can without stalling the airplane. They level off and then they cut the engines back to idle and just cruise. And it freaks people out every time. Like, because we don't make an announcement about it. Some people are nice and they'll make an announcement. I like watching people freak out. Like, it's the funnest part of my job. And people always do. Like, they'll like grab the armrest and then like look over and then
The
you
idea
know
is to get up and out of there as quick in as small amount of real estate as possible, so that we
yeah,
don't cause noise and
make
harm
noise.
and whatever annoyance to the fellow
Yeah.
areas. But what it equates to, what Tori just described, sounds to me like launch control on an airplane. They kind of
It's a
have to step
yeah,
on
dude.
the pedals and
Yeah,
ramp up the throttle, and
it's
then just
exactly
get them
like that.
cooking, release the brakes, kick it,
That's
and
it.
then
That's
just
it.
climb up as rotate and then climb as fast as possible.
I liken it to like when you do the launch at the PEC. If you've ever driven one of the cars or ever been in the
Yeah, with
demos or
launch
whatever,
control.
yeah, it's like you said, you put the foot on the brake, you put the foot on the gas, let go,
Gung,
and then
gung,
you're
gung,
off you
gung, gung,
go.
gung, gung,
Yeah, yeah,
gung.
yeah. And then by the time you hit the carousel, you got to drop back down. It's the same exact thing, but it's like a freaking roller coaster ride. For people that don't already like to fly, like on a smooth flight like that. I mean, I've had people when they get off, they're like, I'll never fly to Orange County again. I didn't know y'all were going to do that. I'm like, that's every plane, like,
Yeah.
yeah. But we just picked up 17 slots at Long Beach. So I don't know.
Oh
Maybe we can
wow.
go to Long Beach. It's
I
not so
love Long
far.
Beach. I love flying out
It's
of
a
Long
great
Beach.
airport to fly
So
out of. It's
easy.
like,
It's
yeah, just
what
like
flying
Burbank.
used to be like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even the terminal looks exactly like it did in the 40s or
Still
50s.
is, yeah.
Like everything. It's amazing.
That's not the one from Casablanca, right? Casablanca is Van Nuys.
Van Nuys, I think, is
Yeah,
Casablanca.
but
Yeah.
it's from a bunch of old movies too, Long Beach, because it
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
literally looks the same. The facade
Yeah.
hasn't changed.
Exactly.
The little mini
Burbank,
tower and
like
everything.
Burbank's super convenient to fly in and out of, but it's also getting busier. I feel like it's compared to LAX, it's not bad, but like of the three, the easiest one is for sure Long Beach
If
by
we're
far.
talking pre-COVID, I would actually agree with you. It was getting a little bit nuts. I was going to say the best thing for us about COVID is that there are almost no airplanes flying in and out of
No, not now.
Burbank.
Oh, dude, what's crazy now is like, so I have this app, and it's a great app. It's called I think it's called Flight Aware. Is it? No, it's not. It's a Flight Radar is what it's called. Flight Radar 24 is the coolest app in the world, especially if you like work for the airlines like I do. Like I'm always looking up and seeing what airplanes are up there, and it'll tell you exactly which one, like on a real time map, which is awesome,
Wow.
dude. Like throughout the day, I'll like look, and there's no planes around here. The only ones that I'll ever see will be like UPS, FedEx, Prime Air. Like there's just no commercial planes. Like
I read an
everyone's
article
cut.
the other day that commercial planes are removing seats on some of their fleet to fly cargo
Yeah.
and freight.
Oh yeah. American was the first ones to do that, which is really smart. We're kind of bouncing back at Southwest. I mean, our stocks recovered quite a bit, which is nice.
That's wonderful news for you in a few months when you're coming back, because
It
you hear
is.
everybody
Yeah.
else and
I'll
it's
have a
like
job to
just
come back
bad
to.
news.
Yeah. It's definitely looking a lot better than what it was, which is nice. But I feel bad for the American and the United flight attendants that are getting furloughed. That sucks, man. I feel bad for them. But
I've known
it's the
two pilots
business.
in my life, captains,
Hmm.
both 747s. So this is a while ago. They both, I can't remember. One was going to retire and his pension was cut just before, and the other one was already retired and they cut it. I mean, they don't like not killed it, but
Yeah.
cut it.
Hmm.
And and I just don't know. I mean, that's like, isn't that the worst possible scenario?
It is. Yeah. I
You know,
couldn't
you
even
work your whole life
imagine.
or whatever, and then you think you have this nest egg or
Yeah.
whatever, and then it just
Yeah.
either goes away or
Just
it's
kidding.
halved or even 30% or whatever.
Yeah, that's dirty. I couldn't even imagine. It'd be awful. Fortunately, I've got some time still, so I can weather a few of these storms, and I should be
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, I feel bad for some of those people. We've had so many people retire that are like junior to me, even. It's crazy. So like, I'm on this Facebook page for like Southwest flight attendants, and every day they honor like people that have taken the early retirement or whatever. And I mean, these are
Oh,
people that
wow.
I've known for a long time, and they just were like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to deal with it
Not
anymore.
going to fight
So
for it when it comes back. Yeah.
no, they're not. So I don't have that luxury.
No,
I'll be
I hear
back to
you.
flying soon enough. So
Are we good, buddy? I feel like we talked about a lot of stuff,
I
a lot
think
of
we
car
are.
stuff, a lot of podcast
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I knew that you were not going to be into Cobra Kai. Something told
Was
me
it
that like
because of the
you're
way I
gonna.
was talking to you on text? Because I was trying to be coy.
I
You,
don't know. I just had a feeling. I had a feeling that like I don't know. But
I almost sent you a picture the other day when we put it on. I almost sent you things, and then I was like, no, this will be interesting to
yeah,
talk about on the
it was
show.
a good talk. I'm glad you saved it. Like that was
I don't
good.
hate
But
it. I don't hate
yeah,
it. I'm like, there's way better ways to do this. Like basically, what it makes me wish is makes me wish I worked on it. It makes me
yeah,
wish I had an opportunity to make it good. Because
dude, that
somebody
was
missed
me.
something somewhere, and it
That
wasn't.
was me when I watched Herbie Fully Loaded for the first time. Are you kidding me? I'm like, dude, if only they had like, because I feel like the Star Trek, like, they are hiring the nerdy J.J.
Yeah.
Abrams people to like
Yes.
do it justice, and I
Well
felt like,
said.
God, I could have done this so much more justice and tied in all these other old movies, had all these great ideas. No, we're just gonna, yeah, throw something at the wall and see what sticks. Sucks.
Yeah,
It
or
gets
we're going to
better.
tell at least the story we agreed to tell better because I don't feel they're doing a very
Yeah,
good job of that in the first
yeah,
3 minutes. Like, I get
yeah,
what you get. You gave me the story in the first 5 minutes of the first episode. We're 3 episodes in, and
yeah,
nothing has really happened.
yeah.
Like, okay,
It's.
well, now there's a new paint on the wall. Oh, we got the sticker up now on the dojo.
Mm-hmm,
Like, oh, he cleaned the
mm-hmm.
thing. He can punch now. Like, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
There's no,
It
he's the
gets
best
better.
around. Nothing's going to ever keep you down.
Yeah.
Must learn balance.
Yeah.
All the good
It gets
stuff. None of it was there for me. They simply, it looked like they ran. Here's what it is. This is my complaint with everything modern. It looks
okay.
like they ran it through a computer that said, "Oh, you need this, you need this, you need this, and then you need this, and then you're good." And it's like that isn't what made the Karate Kid. Sure, there were all those scenes, everything. Oh, okay, fight scene, school dance, costume, but it doesn't have the heart. It doesn't have the heart for me. And if it does later on, then maybe it's worth working towards. But right
I
now,
don't
the first
I
Karate
just
Kid to me is not about karate and it's not about a kid from Jersey. It's about heart and teaching you what's important inside. Karate, karate here, karate here, karate no here.
all I'm saying is keep watching.
Keep watching. All right. But they should. That's
That's
my
all I
point.
got to
Then
say.
it's not good. If I have to keep watching, then it's not done well. Maybe they get better at it, but
They
it
do.
proves my point. Then if I have to keep
It
watching,
does. It does. I totally get all of your talking points, and you're right.
I know I just made
You're
him again.
totally
They're
right.
like, we heard this in the beginning. Shut it off already. All right, so maybe I'll check it out. But you, Mr. Goldbergs,
Cool.
please at least watch an episode of it just to see,
Cool.
because
Yeah,
I
I'll
didn't
do
think
that.
I'd like it either, and it's great.
Yeah, I'm for sure gonna watch that Lawsuit Park thing. What is it called?
Oh, but you're not doing the class act.
I'll
The
watch
real
an episode
place
of
was
the
called
Goldbergs,
Action
but
Park, so they
Action
call it
Park.
Class
Okay.
Action Park.
Class Action Park. Perfect name. That's brilliant. So cool. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
All
But don't
right.
forget to bring that up with Matt because he knows all about that place.
I will. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah,
I think I'm doing a show with him tomorrow. I think, and
perfect.
if so, I will try to bring it up.
That'd be awesome.
We have a guest on Thursday. I don't remember who, but it's a great guest. And the truth is, we're not sure who it is. We think it may be a great guest, and if it's not, it'll be somebody else who's a great guest. So you'll have a great guest on Thursday. I think that's all I have. Ray Schaefer is. We didn't talk about him, but we love Ray Schaefer. There's no new Cam. There's no new Fresh Brew Near Cool this week, right? They're taking a little
No, because
break.
I think they were doing that epic 906 trip, and he's been in Colorado with Jeff doing the
Yeah, they
whole
had the Pikes Peak.
and the Peak to Peak, and yep, kind of cool stuff. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
he's
was
been
wrong.
kind
It's
of
not
quiet.
Pique. It was like Piche or whatever.
No, it's Piech, which
That's
is
it.
Ferdinand Peak, who is the guy that invented the 906. He designed all the race cars from the 906 onward. So Ferdinand Piëch was the race program guy. So it was.
This is where Tory Alonso knows what he's talking about. This is where Jay
it's all
Ryan
good,
is the
man.
guy who missed the whole joke last week when you said "and peak to peak." I was like, I know, and they spelled it.
Well, go back and rewatch Old Soul, and you will see that Ferdinand Piëch is the guy that actually like developed that car. So yeah, it's
You're
been
the
really
best.
slow on the Porsche front for me. Like no Porsche stuff going on lately. It's been all Volkswagens. So yeah, kind of crazy.
And you're going to be on the Let's Talk About Dubs.
Let's talk dubs.
Let's Talk Dubs. And you're going to be on that tonight,
Let's
and that'll
Talk
be
About
probably
Dubs,
landing in a couple days, hopefully.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
We love you at home. Thank you very, very much for tuning us in tonight. On behalf of Mrs. Ryan, who's on assignment, Mr. Alonso, who is in Pittsburgh, and myself, sitting here in Universal City in the late night playset. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. And every night, we love you. Please love one another, and we'll see you out there.
Awesome. Stay cool, LA.
Yeah. 123 the other day. Bullshit.
No thanks. Later, buddy.
Bye, buddy.